the Marketing Brief podcast. I am your host, Brian Aquan, and this is the podcast where we briefly touch on subjects across the marketing landscape. As always, we are joined by an industry expert, and we were very excited to be joined by Jake Isham today. Jake, welcome into the pod.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. I'm a filmmaker turned kind of brand strategist, agency owner. I don't know what we call myself, but basically I jokingly say I'm an accidental marketer. Never planned on getting in marketing, but I run a creative agency based in Los Angeles where we help founders and entrepreneurs build their personal brands through content. And to date, we've done over 1 billion views. We've worked with guys like Grant Cardone, Marshall Falk, with brands like Travis Matthew, Campari, 511, Callaway Golf.
That's amazing.
And
I like the term accidental marketer. That's a great casual way to get into marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a
BS.
BA in marketing and an FA in marketing, or I am purely truly self-taught in a respect of just I've gone to
Hard
YouTube
knocks.
University for this.
That's awesome. This personal brand space has kind of just jumped up in like the last couple of years. Sounds like you've had a lot of experience in there. How do you start when you talk to a founder or an athlete or celebrity? Like, how do you start that conversation of like building their brand, what you can do for them? Is there something that you kind of try to grab, like the essence of what they're trying to do? Like, how do you start that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's people that are whether conversations with others, with, seeing people online and being like, oh, I got to do this. I don't want to do this, but I know I need to have a presence on social media. So they're usually coming to me with a little bit of like begrudgingly tail between their legs, like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live on social. How do I do this? They're not the guys that already have 1 million followers and want to take it to 10 million. They're the guys who have 0 followers and are like, so, I go, look, this is actually a lot easier than you think it is. Because a lot of them overcomplicated. They're like, because there's so much mystery of like, what do I have to do? How long does it take? How many hours? But I have to run my business and I have to I was like, yo, this is so much easier than you think. I usually do about like 1 shoot a month with a client and I get all my content that I need from them. Like, especially when we're first starting out, it's like the biggest thing is we just need to show up. And we need to show up with some form of consistency. Like, it's not, and it's like, then the next question is like, okay, well, what are we going to do? It's like, well, all we have to do is show or talk about who you are. Like, again, it's not like all of the stuff I'm going to tell you and I'm going to say here and what I say to prospects and clients, like, it's all kind of like obvious type thing. But people overcomplicate it in their head. So like, your listeners are probably going to go like, all right, like nothing he's saying is groundbreaking. I'm like, yes, none of it is groundbreaking. None of it is this proprietary, whoa, how did Jake figure that out? Reason, to be honest, why people work with me is the same reason why people hire a fitness trainer, is because someone needs to hold them accountable. Somebody needs them to just walk them through what to do and make sure that they actually do it. So, what do we make content about? Is, well, what do you want to be known for? Or what do you want to be known as? Well, I run this business. Great. Let's talk about your business. What do you say to people on one-to-one? Well, I tell them this. Great. Let's make a video about that.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
Start there. So like, it's again, not particularly groundbreaking, crazy, but it's oh, well, what do we make content? It's like, well, what's coming up in sales objections? What are FAQs? What are you constantly reminding people about? Well, let's just make a video about that, because then if they start watching your videos, they don't have those questions. They're ready for the next thing, which is probably your services. You're doing the whole goal that I look at it is in 2 folds in building a personal brand. Is first and foremost is like PR, which is just general awareness. If they don't know you, like a great Grant Cardone-ism is, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. But simply, if they don't know you, they can't do business with you. It's like one of those, again, like, yeah, that's obvious. That's not groundbreaking, Jake. But the degree of to get known is the effort and the estimation of what it's going to take. People so misunderestimate. They're like, okay, if I do a post a month, like, do you remember what you saw on social media this morning? Like, how many, when you're scrolling through TikTok, really look at, like, count the amount of videos that you Like in 15 minutes, how many videos do you go through? I guarantee you probably go through about 30 plus videos, maybe even 50
Mhm.
videos in a 15-minute mark. So that is the degree at which like the
Yeah,
content that
for
needs to
sure.
go out. So, but we build up to it. We don't
Mhm.
get overwhelmed. We build up to it. So that there's a level of awareness that we just need to get attention. Then the
Mhm.
next thing is conversions. How do you start working on conversions? Well, you start answering questions that people always ask. You start putting out content that's going to make them go, well, shit, I need that. And yes, you could do it from your corporate account. Hey, or imagine if this is, we were talking about this right before we got
Yeah.
jumped on the podcast, but people buy from people.
Yep.
I love, there's a great example of, my God, I'm blinking on Kinoso. Kinoso, I think it's a SaaS. Basically, it's an whatever. Their social media is fantastic. The marketing director is a young gal. I don't know. She looks like she's mid-20s or something like that. And she's done such a great job. She's basically made their social
Nice.
media into a TV show. So all of the
Yeah.
employees are characters. And it feels like you're watching The Office, but their own version of The Office, where you have the CEO is doing content. Like you have their corporate channel has all this, but then all of them have their own personal channels. And so there's like 5 different characters and a main hub, all putting out
Yeah.
content, pushing forward this company.
Clever.
And all of them have their own personal brands. All of them have their own little kind of shtick character, vibe. But you all go, oh, it's funny, it's relatable, it's this, it's that. And it all pushes to going, oh, let me learn about this product. Again, some content that's more top of funnel for, some more of the marketers who know what we're talking about here, which is again, just pure awareness. Oh, I've never even heard of this. What is this? Oh, okay. Some that's more bottom of the funnel, more conversion based, which is, oh, okay, let me actually
Yeah.
look at this. This
Well,
might be
man, as
actually
an
something I need.
accidental marketer, I mean, you've just laid out a whole flywheel that I absolutely subscribe to. So gosh, I was just taking notes as you were talking because so much of
Appreciate
this
it.
resonates with what I do. Let me go.
You open up the
I
floodgates,
like
you
it.
got a little bit of a rant,
No,
so
you're
get off the
absolutely nailing
soapbox.
it. I mean, the idea of trying to answer the questions for people is exactly what we try to do in marketing, right? It's like if you can do that for them before they even know they have the question sometimes, right? That's the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of a conversation, whether it be between a brand or service and a person, right? Who is ultimately making the decision in everything. There's a person at the end who's saying yes or no, and maybe they have to go get more, they have to get it approved by somebody else, or maybe it's a D2C where they're just hitting a button and saying buy. But there's always a person at the end that you have to relate to. So I love that when you're designing for it, that is what you're designing for, is ultimately to reach a person.
The best sales calls you can talk to, if any marketing people talk to salespeople, which they don't usually do, but if they do, the best sales calls that a salesman can have is when the prospect tells
Yes.
the salesman their script. It's happened to me with prospects where I'm like, you're literally telling me my script to you, but you're telling it to me. It's the weirdest sensation for a salesman and then all you have to do as a salesman is go, do you want Zelle, credit card, ACH? How do you want to pay? That's all you got to say. There's no selling involved. But the way that's done is through great marketing. That's the way it's done. And it makes salesmen look really good.
And you made the point about, awareness
And
comes first. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up is they're like, I want conversions, need conversions on my website. How do I get more conversions on my website? And you really have to start with, well, if you're a brand or service. Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
first have to start with traffic. We got to get people to the site before they can convert. And so one of the things I always talk to entrepreneurs when I consult or do seminars is, what is your customer journey? Again, it's nothing I
It
talk
is.
about is groundbreaking, but it's the fundamentals that aren't in. And then when they're in, it works. It's like, great, we put out content. People, is there a link in your social media so people can go to a landing page? No? Then how are they going to go to your website? Oh, didn't think about that. Okay, great. If they go to your website, are they going to just your homepage, or are they going to a landing page that's primed for them to for them to learn more, to jump on a call?
Yep.
Is it easy?
Customized experience. I mean, when you say it's not groundbreaking, but it actually is this day and age, right? Because we've gotten, when I work with clients, I call what I do a lot foundational marketing, right? It's like hey, who are you as a brand? Yeah, you can
That
steal that. You can just
I
hire
might
me.
steal it, Brian. I'm gonna
It's like, what are your objectives? What's your strategy, right? Because everyone wants to jump to what's our Instagram ad, right? And it's like, I can't get there unless I know why you exist as a brand, what you're trying to do, really nailing a strategy. Because then when you get to the tactics, that's the real fun stuff that everyone wants to jump into. And they've got the idea, and I had this idea, and we should be over here, and we should do that. But if it's not grounded in strategy, you're just jumping from idea to idea, and you're lost. I mean, one of them might work, but then you're lost after that. And having a strategy, being grounded in strategy, means you can do that over and over and over again. And you're building loyalty, you're building trust, you're building a brand.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, I'm not going to say this correctly, but if I'm not mistaken, like strategy comes from, there's a Latin word, but like it's based around the war strategy. And like you go into a battle with no strategy, you're probably going to lose. And it's the same thing with anything. Like if you go into something with no strategy, you're not going to win. Doesn't mean any strategy is going to be better than no strategy. And prove your strategy either by learning more or by trying it and failing and going,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, the
We need
best
to
strategies are
re-strategize.
iterative, right? Like you just try something, you get some data, and then you tweak it. Okay, this worked a little bit. We should maybe talk about it a little bit differently, but you can always go back to what are we trying to do? Why do we exist as a brand or a service? And that comes from an authentic place. And then that will always be something that you can go back to and say, okay, what did we write down? Why do we exist? Because we can go and try a bunch of different things to get people to understand that, but we have to know ourselves first before we can tell other people about it.
100%. And that's where doing some brand work is always good. And then I do want to throw out the one caveat is don't spend all your time just doing strategy. You got to actually do the work and actually put it out there. Ounce of strategy is better, and a ton of work is much better than a ton of strategy.
And that's what's changed in the
bit of
modern
work.
media environment is that in the old days, it's like I started in advertising in 1999, right? We weren't getting immediate feedback all the time. Now we're in this place where it's like you can put something up and you get feedback in a day, right? And you can tweak it and try it again. Yeah. Yeah.
In an hour, you'll know. Like one of the easiest ways, so I work with a lot of artists at the same time. My brother, musician, and like one of the simple strategies is you could throw up 5 videos, put $10-$20 behind each video, and in an hour, you'll see which one is performing the best. Like you go look at the analytics, you put $100 together, $20 behind 5 video assets, run one day, couple hours, you'll see which one's performing the best. Then you go, great, well, take away the other 4. Great, now we're going to put $1,000 behind this one video ad because you know which one works. So, like you'll know instantly. Viral videos happen immediately. Now, look, don't get me wrong. There are viral videos that especially long form YouTube videos that it boom, 3 years later, it pops off. 5 years later, it pops off. That does happen. But majority of the cases, viral videos pretty much start going within a day, it's viral. And the more viral, it happens faster. It's like a literal rocket ship. I've seen it many a times with many a people. It happens overnight now. So you'll know in terms of if your marketing campaign is resonating with people because
you'll see it.
It will happen.
Well, I always like to ask my guests a question. And here in season 2, our question is, what is your superpower? Do you know what your superpower is, Jake? I wrote down a couple for you.
I appreciate it. I think I have a couple that I think that separates me. I think from a micro, I have an ability to make somebody very comfortable on camera. Because I'm a director at the end of the day. I make films and I work with actors. So I bring that ability to get them to communicate relaxedly and just get them to do that. And I think from the macro, I have an ability to think very big. And I think with very large futures and big expansion and big numbers don't scare me. I'm like, great, let's make this $1 billion company. great, let's do $1 million in our first week. All right. I'm a big believer in like the power of imagination. I know it sounds a little woo woo and whatever, but like it costs nothing to think big. It's free to go to dream and to go, And maybe it's because I'm an artist turned marketer, but I'm an artist first. And I go,
Yeah.
why couldn't
That's
this be a
awesome.
$1 billion company? Why are we just thinking with 1 million? Or why are we thinking with 100,000? Like, why not make a $1 billion company? Why not sell it for 100x EBITDA? Well, no one's done it before. I don't know. Okay. But like, it doesn't. And that's the thing. Like, people get scared to think big. And I go, well, at least dream big. Worst comes to worst, okay. It's only 50 million, not 100 million. I'd be okay with 50 million. Like, the little things like that. Like, it doesn't cost to think big. And if you start training yourself to think bigger like that, it starts shifting a lot of stuff and energies within yourself. Like, you start
Love that.
breaking a lot of self-limiting beliefs of like, well, why couldn't I? Like, even being around successful people, I've noticed I even think bigger than them. And it's like, well, why couldn't I run my company while living around the world? Why couldn't I do this? Why, like, is there a logical reason I couldn't? Why couldn't this or that? Like, you just start kind of going, oh, wait a minute. Like, and you just start seeing how much we're conditioned. And so I think that's
I
my
love that. Yeah.
ability
Shoot
to
for the
inspire others
stars.
that way too. I want to hear what you said. What do you, in the 40 minutes we've been talking, talked to, a couple of minutes before and 20 minutes now,
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
I'll
I
take the
mean, I love
compliments.
shoot for the stars. You might just hit the moon is always a good way to look at it. So dream big. I love that. But from our conversations, I think your
Love that.
adaptability, your ability to learn things is really remarkable to me. Like your accidental marketing is like you spout off a flywheel that I use all the time, right? Awareness, consideration, conversion. Like that is what I always go back to. And you worked it out just through learning marketing on your own. So very adaptive. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was interesting. I was just talking about it with my wife this morning, like, because we were talking about AI, and she's like, "I'm so happy that you're like learning this, and like because I was implementing some AI with her, and just like I was like, oh, and you can voice to text like this, and there's this new app that you can voice to text, and it makes it even better, and just showing her these little things. She was complimenting, and I was like,
Yeah.
you have to always be learning, more now than ever. Like, I'm in my mid 30s and I'm like, and I'm starting to feel that age of like, oh God, tech is growing because tech is growing faster than ever, especially with the AI race, especially just with where we're moving. And it is something that like to dedicate that extra hour once a day, like to not watch Netflix, to not watch, to listen to a podcast while working out, to take that just discipline to take 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, to learn a little bit something to make you a little bit better on whatever it is. It could be on your health. It could be on your business. It could be as a parent. It could it doesn't matter. But how can I get a little bit better? And I think that's a skill that probably is again a little bit. I'm just willing, and I just
Yeah, we'll
enjoy
put that in your
trying to
superpower,
learn a little bit.
quiver.
Maybe it's because I'm the oldest of three boys. I got a younger sister, and but I'm the shortest, and so they're the athletes, and so there's the competitive
Yeah.
older brother.
How do I find an edge?
My brothers could beat me up, but I'm the
Well, thank
oldest.
you so much, Jake. It's been great getting to know you on the podcast. How do people get in touch with you if they're looking for your services? What's the name of your creative agency?
Creative Minds. You can look creativemindsoffficial.com, or you can go to, basically, I'm on every social media platform, annoyingly. You'll probably see my photography, my filmmaking, or if you go like on LinkedIn, you'll see my, me. And that's where a great place from a business standpoint. Otherwise, Jake Creative Marketing on Instagram. But yeah, Google my name. As
Google me.
pretentious as this sounds, Google my name or search on any platform, and you'll find it. I've worked a
Yeah.
little bit at
Well,
trying to make
it's
myself
what you do,
discoverable.
so that makes you gotta live the brand. Awesome. Well, Jake Isham, it has been great to have
Yeah.
you on the Marketing Brief podcast. This has been a brief conversation with Jake Isham. I am your host, Brian Aquan, and stay curious, everyone.